All right. Let's be on the record in case number 2018 CR 989, captioned State of Kansas versus Emanuel Dickens. Would the parties announce their appearances, please?
May it please the court, Karen Whitman for the state.
May it please the court, Emanuel Dickens appears in person in Counsel Mark McLaughlin's office via Zoom.
All right. We are here set down for a sentencing hearing. Back on July 31st, the parties appeared also by Zoom at that time. And the defendant changed his plea from one of not guilty to guilty. The court inquired, accepted that plea, ordered a pre-sentence investigation, and set sentencing for today. I've received a copy of the pre-sentence investigation. The critical findings are as follows. The sole count of conviction is one of eluding a police officer. That is a severity level 9 person felony. The defendant's criminal history score was found to be that of as A, as in Andrew. That would leave him with a presumed sentence of prison with an presumed range of 15, 16, or 17 months. If he has to do that time, he'll be eligible for up to 20% good time credit and subject to a post-release supervision duration of 12 months. If he's granted probation today, it would be for a period of 12 months to community corrections. I would ask you first, Ms. Whitman, did you have an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation? Do you have any additions, corrections, or challenges to those findings?
I have reviewed and I see none.
Mr. McLaughlin, same question.
I've reviewed it, no additions or corrections.
All right. I'm going to adopt the findings of the pre-sentence investigation for today's hearing. Mr. McLaughlin, you filed a motion for downward dispositional departure. Would you like to be heard on that today?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Of course, when we originally did the plea, I was unaware of the additional charges that I'm looking at right now. It looks like all of the felonies, and this doesn't exonerate the.
Judge, it froze. Hold on a second. It froze on me. You stopped with, I was unaware of the additional charges that I'm looking at right now. No.
Okay.
You can continue.
And just looking at it, the charges on another screen, it looks like they all were prior. Most were in the early 80s. I think the last felony was in 91. And just looking at Mr. Dickens' criminal history, it looks like around 91, he decided to change his life around and fly straight.
All right. Ms. Whitman, would you like to be heard on the defendant's motion?
Judge, I do not have an objection to it. I believe it is correct. They are old. And he did take responsibility by pleading, and I didn't have to go through a whole trial. But I am going to request to modify the plea agreement based on this dispositional departure to request that you give him the aggravated number in the box, which is 17 months, as opposed to what the original request was to the low number.
All right. Either of the attorneys wish to make any other statement regarding sentencing today?
No.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then, sir, now is your opportunity, Mr. Dickens, to tell me anything you want me to know in mitigation of your sentence today.
I'm doing pretty well and not getting into nothing. Trying to take care of me and my son.
All right, thank you. Mr. McLaughlin, do you know any legal reason why I should not now pronounce sentence?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Well, Mr. Dickens, this kind of points up what I've, I used to be in private practice, and I'm sure Mr. McLaughlin had the same conversation with you that I had with my clients, that it was very important for you to be upfront with them about your criminal history and anything that you had in the past, because otherwise their predictions of what sentence you were looking at was going to be way off. And this is one of those cases. And frankly, it's within would have been within the power of the state to ask me to send you to prison for about a year and a half. And it also is well within my power to do that. Now, I'm convinced by a couple of things. One, that the age of those convictions is such that I don't know that they reflect yourself as a person these days. And so that's one reason that I think that I can depart from what those tell me that I should do under the presumptions. Furthermore, I do believe that you accepted responsibility in this case, saved the state a lot of resources in having to try this case. And for those reasons and all of those set out in the
Judge.
defendant's motion.
Judge,
Where'd you
I'm
leave me?
sorry, I lost you. You accepted responsibility in this case.
All right. So for those two reasons and for all of those reasons set out in the defendant's motion, I'm going to find that there are substantial and compelling reasons to depart from the presumption of prison in this case. Therefore, the defendant will be sentenced to the aggravated box of 17 months in the Department of Corrections. If he has to do that time, he'll be eligible for 20% good time credit and subject to 12 months of post-release supervision. His application for probation is considered and it is granted to community corrections for a period of 12 months. All right. As far as costs and fees go, Mr. Dickens, how do you make ends meet?
I'm drawing security,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, you broke up. I didn't hear that.
drawing SSI, Social Security.
All right. And did I hear that you have a son that you're taking care of?
Yes, sir.
How old is that child?
16.
Okay. All right. And so you receive Social Security for him and yourself.
Yeah.
All right. What was that amount a month?
I get 790. He get 190.
Okay. And do you own a house or do you rent?
No, I rent an apartment.
How much is that rent?
550.
Does that include utilities?
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I think there's a financial hardship here with the defendant being on SSI disability, responsible for the care of a minor child. So I think that it would only be fair to waive court costs. I think that it is going to cost the county an amount of money to supervise the defendant. So I will order the supervision fee be assessed regarding this defendant, and I will waive attorney fees. So all he's going to owe is the supervision fee in this case. All right. Mr. Dickens, you have 14 days from today to appeal anything you don't like about your sentence. As a convicted felon, it's prohibited for you to own or possess a firearm, certain kind of deadly cutting instruments like dirks, daggers, switchblades, basically knives that could be considered deadly weapons. Before you decide to own or possess any kind of weapons like that, talk to a good lawyer like Mr. McLaughlin to make sure it wouldn't be reason to revoke a probation or add new charges, okay?
Okay.
All right. Ms. Whitman, anything jail time credit?
Judge, I was looking at that, and it looks like they got it wrong on the PSI in that he went into jail, I'm assuming on the date of.
Sorry, hold on. I lost you. You were looking at the jail credit.
I'm looking at the pre-sentence investigation, and I believe they mistaken. I believe he went into custody on 2018 when the event occurred. So I think it's June 16th of 2018. And I would assume that he was in custody till that July 31st of 2018. And then he was in for a little bit longer. So I'm for a brief period. So my jail credit was going to be 44 days total. Because I just think they got the years wrong on the pre-sentence report.
Karen, you're correct. That's a typo. It should be the 2018.
Correct. Yeah. So the total will be 44 days.
Mr. McLaughlin, do you agree that that's accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will be granted as jail time credit. All right. Ms. Whitman, anything else I have not covered?
I don't believe so. I do wish the court to know that the journal entry will be sent to Mr. McLaughlin here as soon as we get off Zoom for him to approve it so I can get it to you in a timely manner.
All right. And Mr. McLaughlin, do you have number for community corrections?
No, Your Honor.
573-4180.
All righty, and I will write that down, Mr. Dickens.
All right, he'll need to call them and let them know that he's been assigned there. They'll tell him how to report. Yes, Miss Ariola?
Are you assessing the DNA fee? Since his felonies are old, I'm not sure that was.
Yeah, I
Assess.
think I have to assess that as well. All right. Yeah, I don't think I have the ability to waive that. So
Okay.
I forgot with that criminal history, I forgot that with the age of the felonies and the fact that they were out of state, that he's not in the database yet. So that fee also will be assessed by operation of law. All right. Anything
you.
else for our record today?
No, nothing.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Dickens. Thank you all. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.